Welcome back. Let us go to North, to Plateau State, place where the governor is now begging the Igbo for forgiveness. In fact, it is a very shocking news in broadcast because time have come and everybody have seen it that what Gowon did is evil and is very, very sinful. And according to the headline, it says, why northern leaders are now abandoning one Nigeria for new Biafran alliance. The main reason why they are now abandoning their one Nigeria, they are saying that the Nigerian of a thing cannot work. And now they are now trying to align with the Biafran idea. That is why they are now begging for forgiveness. They are saying that the lie go on, lie to them that Igbo is against Nigeria. They are saying that everything it is lie. All those things it is lie. The 1967 war and the rest of them. It is now, everything is now coming out full. And in fact, don't skip any part of the video. Try to watch to the end so that for you to see and for you to understand by yourself what is really going on in Nigeria. This our brother Okocha is going to explain to us a lot of things that is going on in the north. And also the governor himself is going to come out to talk to himself by himself things that is going on because they have seen. If you look at it very well, starting from Ojuku down to this present day Nigeria, starting from 1914 of the amalgamation of Nigeria to this present day, how the country has been scrambling, trying their best to move, and whatever Igbo man do, they will claim that Igbo man is enemy of Nigeria. Now they are now saying that Igbo is not the enemy, rather they are the people that are even trying to make Nigeria to work. But because of hatred, because of the nepotism, and because of issue of tribalism that is in the country, that is the main reason why they see Igbo as the enemy of the country. Just watch and you understand what you're saying. As I'm about to watch, like, subscribe, and share for everyone to see things going on in the country.
Whether he is apologizing on behalf of General Yakubu Gowon, who led the Nigerian Civil War against the Biafra, or the war they refer to as Nigerian Civil War, Nigerian Biafra War, whether he is apologizing on behalf of Gowon, that is what people don't know. But the Plateau State Governor, Governor Motfwang, has apologized to Igbos, saying that the Plateau people were deceived to have joined Nigeria during the Civil War to fight against the Igbos. So I saw this news, first of all, from from Guardian newspaper. So I went to check whether is this thing actually true before I could, go ahead to publish it. I also verified it from the government of Plateau State. Their verified handle on Facebook and other social media platform. I saw it as posted. I also see it on Punch newspaper. So many media houses have reported it. And not only that, the Plateau State government, they themselves with their verified handle on Facebook also publish it. So I read through it, and the governor was, saying that Igbos has been the most trusted partner with the Plateau people after the Civil War till date. Igbos are in a 17 local government in Plateau State, and that the commitment to building the new Plateau State is something that people should join hands together to build it. What the Plateau State governor said is not just the main problem, and that is not the essence of this video, because that is what every normal person should talk about. But I'm going to look into what led the Plateau State governor to apologize on behalf of his state about the civil war that happened so many years ago. What made him to apologize? He is not the first Plateau governor. There have been so many governors after the civil war till today. And Yakubu Gowon is still alive, who led the civil war. He has not officially apologized. No. Gowon have not apologized officially. If he has done that, I don't know. I've not seen it. But I only know that Gowon said that he fought the war for the unity of Nigeria. And most of the time, I used to ask people, does Nigeria look like what you fought to kill almost 5 million people to keep one? Is Nigeria one now? Anyway, now, Let's understand the details of this man's statement. I'm talking about the governor of Plateau State. Then after that, stay with me. Let me tell you what made this governor to apologize. All right, this is another one from Punch newspaper, and let us see what it reads. The Plateau State Governor Caleb Mofwang has apologized to the Igbo community for the role the state played during the Nigerian Civil War, saying the people of Plateau were deceived into participating in the conflict. Speaking during an interactive section with Igbo leaders from the 17 local government areas of the state at the government house, NATO Refit Jos Mofwang urged both sides to put the painful chapter behind them and strengthen the bonds of unity. According to a report by The Guardian, so Punch newspaper is now quoting Guardian. On Monday, the governor commended the Igbo community for its contribution to Plateau State socio-cultural development, describing them as an integral part of the state's growth and prosperity. He noted that the Plateau had remained one of the most accommodating states for the Igbo people since the end of the Civil War, and recalled that compensation had been paid for some of the losses suffered during the conflict. I never knew about the compensation paid by Plateau State to Igbo people because of the losses during the Civil War. Now, let us come back to the reality. What made this man to apologize? It has nothing to do with economic growth. Igbos are developing Plateau. No. Everything he said could be true, but that is not the reason why he apologized. Now, listen. As I'm talking now, I'm refreshing my memory, watching the video where the Plateau State Governor Mofwang with his aides and commissioner, they were standing in front of the soldiers, military officers. Then the civilians, the people that the terrorists came to raid their house to kill. The civilians were telling the governor, look at this army officer. He is the one telling the terrorists where to burn. He was the one telling the terrorists to burn that church. He was the one telling the terrorists to kill these people, this person, this person, this person. The governor was shocked. A soldier was telling terrorists, people to kill, where to burn. And the soldier was standing there in front of governor. And the civilians, they were accusing the soldier. Mofwang have seen what Nigeria is. Mofwang have seen that, like in Plateau State now, every week, the terrorists kill minimum of 10 people. It's now a constant thing. Every week, people must die. Terrorists must kill people. Every week. Then, I started asking myself, where is Gowon? I am asking this question because Gowon said he fought the civil war to keep Nigeria one. You fought the civil war to keep Nigeria one, and your people are still fighting the war up till today. Your people are dying mercilessly like chicken. Nigeria is now killing your people. The Nigeria you bring together as one is now killing your people. Even your village and environs, they are no longer at home. Running better scatter, death everywhere, grave everywhere. Then the question is this. If you fought a war to keep Nigeria one, and up to today, Nigeria is never one, there is an indication to tell you that Ojukwu was right. Ojukwu was right. Now, this governor have seen a lot of things that have gone wrong. Mofwang have seen a lot of things that have gone wrong. Mofwang have seen how his people are dying every day. This governor is helpless. But he is now remembering, he's recalling what led to the civil war. What the Fulani militia, what the jihadists are doing to his people now. What the Boko Haram, the ISWAP are doing to his people now in the name of Sharia. That is what they were doing to people from the south. You know, that time, once you mention Igbo, they believe everybody from the south, apart from Yoruba people, are Igbos. That was what they were doing to the Igbos. Pogrom, killing them, putting their heads on the car, going to the south. That was what Ojukwu saw. Ojukwu said, this is a task that we must accomplish to save our people. They know why they remove history from curriculum. They know why they don't want you to study history. Because you will know how this problem started in Nigeria. You will know how this problem started even before Nigeria got independence. Once they hear that Nigeria was about to have independence, they started killing Igbos. Why? Because they are afraid that, Igbos are the one on top. Nnamdi with them. They will dominate. Southerners are on top. They will dominate. They started killing people because of they just hear about independence. And that delayed Nigeria independence. And that is why so many countries like Ghana, they got independent before Nigeria. People should understand history. And you see, when you fail to understand where you are coming from, you will be lost. So many people are confused today about Nigeria because they don't know where this thing is coming from. But Governor Mufwang understood that this problem was not about Igbos. What the Igbos saw and said, we are leaving Nigeria, the Plateau State are seeing it after 50-something years, maybe 60 years. It is now that Plateau State people are saying it, what Igbos saw 50 years ago. I pity Plateau people. You see, every now and then I follow this equipping the persecuted. They used to give intelligence about the attack. Today they will tell you that terrorists are about to attack here, they're about to attack here, they're about to attack your local government. And once they say it, it will happen. These terrorists, their heads, I saw so many of them on social media, on Facebook, threatening to say attack Plateau people. Like, Gowon is saying all these things. And he remember he is the problem why his people are dying. You see, one of the major problems we have in Nigeria is that almost 80% of Nigerians don't have independent mind. They don't have ability to reason independently. They can't come out to reason and talk independently. Before they talk, they will remember their political person who is feeding them, the person they are begging money, the person who gives them work, the person they are begging to put them as councillor or local government chairman. They are not independent. And there is no how you can succeed. There is no how a revolution can happen. There is no how people can defeat evil if they don't have independent mind. The mind of so many Nigerians are dependent on the politicians. Either they are dependent on politician or a pastor or a imam. They don't have independent mind. Like, this is what this person is saying, the politician. But no, this is what I want. This is what is right. They don't know what is right though. If their oga say that evil is right, they will defend the evil as the right thing. The lack of independent mind is killing Nigeria. It's what has killed Nigeria because as far as I'm concerned, it's a past tense. Nigeria is gone. Lack of independent mind. A politician may come out today and just do empowerment. Everybody will be on their new. I beg, I need empowerment. Then the politicians will use the opportunity like a symbiotic relationship in a perverse manner. They will not be looting the money that belongs to the people, the money for your healthcare, the money for the hospital, the money for your free education, and so on and so forth to do roads, street light for you. They are now going to use it to buy, washing machine, this and that. They call it empowerment for you. They are using only the 10%. And people will be begging more so that they will be one of the beneficiaries. Like, it's a symbiotic relationship in a perverse manner. So there is no independent mind. People are bought over. I've said this time with that number. Nigeria is not ripe for democracy. Almost 90% of African nations are not ripe for democracy. Because democracy is going to enthrone evil. And once democracy enthrone evil, that evil will truncate democracy and stay permanently. I talk about the danger of democracy, that democracy is beautiful, is good, until the evil will be enthroned through democracy. That is where you will come to understand that democracy is something that has one way direction. Oh, democracy is inclusion. Everybody have right. Oh yeah. They will now use the opportunity to hijack that democracy. And after hijacking it, they will say no more democracy. We are changing our law. Because you said democracy is about majority, right? So if the evil are more than the people who are good, meaning they can even suspend that democracy that brought them. Because that is democracy in disguise. So, Governor Mofang, what he said, what he did is not a bad thing, but I know it came too late. But for the record, he did the right thing, and posterity will judge him well, understanding that what Igbos were fighting was the right thing, because his people are dying every day. Plateau State, only this year, they have lost thousands of people. Only this year. So I understand what the man is going through, and it is a testament to what has happened in the past. But I don't know if he's apologizing for Gowon. Gowon need to come out clean. Gowon is still lying in his old age. Gowon is still lying that fighting the war was the right thing. But Gowon refused to talk about the war that is currently in his house. That was the war they were bringing to the Igbos. This is the reality, whether you like it or not. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think about this. I did not ask you whether you accept the apology or not, because I know you have something to say.
Oh yes, that is a powerful speech from Okocha. The main reason why the Plateau State Governor, present one, the main reason why he is now apologizing to the Igbos over the civil war. Everybody knows what is going on in Nigeria as it is, and everybody knows how the heat of separation, division, Biafran is now hitting everywhere. And the injustice that happens in courts on the issue of Mazen Kanu and the motor show. Everybody knows it. Just that Nigeria is a country of lies, manipulation, propaganda, and a country of corruption. They will never tell you the truth. To the extent that now they are now discussing the issue of Biafra in US and also in UN, giving the Nigerian order for them to release Mazen Kanu. And if you see everything that is going on in Nigeria today, what Gowon claimed that he fought to make Nigeria one, that issue of oneness is not working at all. It's not working, because if the country you fight to make them one is today fighting ourselves everywhere, is unaliving everywhere, villages is being destroyed, people is being killed, pregnant women, children, mothers is being raped, and daughters, then what is the essence of you fighting to make Nigeria one? As we said at the beginning, that why northern leaders are now abandoning one Nigeria for new Biafran alliance. They are saying that this issue of one Nigeria is no more working. Is no more working. But they will not come out to tell the truth. They will never. Now just watch where they are begging the East, the Igbos, to remain that they are the economic hub of Nigeria, and they are the people who hold the country, who is making this country to move to date. Watch by yourself and you will understand the thing that is happening in Nigeria.
If an Igbo man dominates the market in Jigawa, dominates the market in Maiduguri, dominates the market in Sokoto, dominates the market in Kanu and Bauchi, and now he controls the economy there, and then you want to carve out a nation for him where he has to pull out from those places.
If they divide Nigeria today, the Biafrans will not suffer. Likewise, the Yorubas will not suffer. But I assure you that we, the northern people, will suffer, and before we get ourselves, it will take us from 1 to 50 years. At this era, a northern person, a northern citizen, still believe that the northern leaders will change the north. This 2026/2027, we are expecting the northern leaders have good things in store for us. Everything that is happening in the north today is the northern leaders. The creation of poverty, extremely high in number of insecurity, sufferness, and many more. They said they are going to bring security to the north, but what we get today is insecurity. President Buhari gave them everything to remodernize and to arrange the north, but all we get from them is Boko Haram, Lakurawa, ISIS, ISWAPs, bandits, kidnappers. And you are expecting northern Nigeria to be great in 2 years? No, never.
All right, sir. Northern leaders meet saying that Benjamin Netanyahu should not allow Biafra, that they will suffer as a reaction to IPOB delegate breakthrough in the Israeli parliament. Why is this happening?
The northern leaders, the Fulani leaders, precisely. I don't want to talk about the Hausas, who are the indigenous people, but you can see that the Hausas, are in fully support of the position of Nnamdi Kanu currently now. There's no two ways about it. But the people who are championing, the Islamization in Nigeria are the ones now, because when you talk about the northerners, they are looking at that, the Fulani, the elite class, the political class that control the indigenous Hausa and control the traditional leadership in Hausa land and some other things. But the Hausa youths themselves, they understand what Biafra actually stand for. In 4 states alone, I want to tell you why the North are jittery, it's not about the level of resources, how they control the resources of the Biafran land, and we know the history, we know those who are in charge, Danjuma and Sultan of Sokoto, they bought everything, they even turned the so-called Niger Delta people into slaves. But they are pretending as if they don't know they are slaves to the Fulani people, because these Fulani people poison them to hate Biafrans, their fellow brothers, and that is the division. Now, going back memory lane, in the 18th century, there was nothing like Niger Delta. What they have here is oil Rivers Protectorate, then later Niger Rivers Protectorate, then after the independence we have 1960, then they have this unfortunate Niger Delta they call themselves. But what having confiscated, and shared, and even most of them to get the pipeline where they export, where they take away the real resources of the land, and they poison and paint a certain narrative that the Igbos are the enemy. But that's not a subject for discussion. I just want to tell you that it is not the only oil they are crying. They can have the crude oil. What would they use it for? The Northern does not know, because the aspect of industrialization is being seen as haram. The economy in 4 states of the North, Igbos have over close to 100 trillion investments in 4 states of the North, and I can tell you that over Kanu, Kaduna, Plateau, and Sokoto. So imagine where this industrialization engine is being pulled out from the entire North. And that's why they're telling Benjamin Netanyahu, hey, what you saw at the Knesset Parliament, where we have the Speaker of the Knesset Parliament discuss the issue of Biafra with IPOB diplomat. Okay, it is a channel of what the requirements of the United Nations, charter that backs international law that enables a sovereign nation to recognize, a nation seeking self-determination. And that's what the international law says. But the northern leaders who have seen clearly that how come this thing is becoming real? It has become unstoppable. Not like Nnamdi Kanu told them. They are now trying to tell the federal government, to go and do something. Alanda has even summoned some Southeast, I don't know that report, to devise a means, Southeast governors, and of course, we learned also that trying to approach Nnamdi Kanu. But it has gone beyond Nnamdi Kanu, currently now. But what the Northerners are trying to tell the Israeli, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is that if we cannot survive, why? How many investments do the Northerners, the Fulani people have in Biafra land? Apart from taking the crew, they don't build anything there. They don't build school, no infrastructure, no hospital, no school, no university, no industrialization. They don't build factories there. But they are only taking the crude and leave the entire Niger Delta, the so-called Niger Delta. Those places are different territories. But because they succeeded, Gowon succeeded in manipulating, using Sarawiwa and the rest of them, and Harold Wilson, the then Prime Minister of Britain, to manipulate and create 12 states. And that is why I'm telling you, the Nigerian regional government, the issue of self-police, these are some of the things that was agreed on Apuri. Nigeria is coming back again. After the Igbo people, the Biafrans have lost over 6 million. It tells you a nation that is unserious. The report is that, if it was pulled out close to 100 trillion in 4 states of the North alone, I'm not talking about other states. Imagine what will happen.
a lot of people are now saying that we see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu trying to quickly pass this regional law into existence, that it will also help the Southeasterners to forget about this agitation.
Nobody's going to forget about Biafra, because Biafra has become an identity. Biafra has become a religion. Biafra has become a spirit. Can Bola Ahmed Tinubu stop a spirit? You know? And Nigeria created the necessity, and we have invented Biafra. Necessity is the mother of invention. Nigeria created the necessity. We did the mother of invention, and it gave birth to Biafra. So how do you expect us to? Ojukwu gave you options. They can't talk against Ojukwu. Even to the extent that even the so-called oil become a national asset under Ironsi, they still kill Ironsi. So what are we talking about? So Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whatever emergency policies is trying to embark on, that the British government have advised him, you know, you need to act fast, you need to do this to safeguard, but it does not stop the conquest agenda. Recently, they have banned the preaching of, you know, gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. And if you are caught, you will pay $50,000. Yoruba people are the people that engineered it in the Senate. Yoruba people. And I keep on telling you that Yoruba does not mind Islam, does not mind Sharia. Look at Abraham Traore. He has banned even those people that went to Saudi Arabia to grab 800 of them. He said they will not come here and radicalize. If they him too is a Muslim. Abraham Traore says he's a Muslim. Then he doesn't want them to come back from Saudi Arabia and begin to radicalize, you know, Burkina Faso. That they should go and pass. After they have studied it, you know, they should find another country and go. But what is happening in Nigeria? Even when Ezekiel Chama was being threatened by the self-Fulani jihadists, have you seen any Nigerian government official respond to the mass, you know, this thing? But what are they doing? They are gradually institutionalizing, you know, Islam, you know, targeting the Biafran land. The Yorubas are part of it. Yes, that is the truth.
But why does it seem now that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is now trying to negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu, as a lot of people are saying?
The negotiation with Nnamdi Kanu, you know, is based on monetary, you know, inducements. And Nnamdi Kanu does not want that. He proposed, he said they are coming up with regional government. Nnamdi Kanu said no. The regional government does not stop infiltration of the Fulani in Biafran land. Then you're talking about the state police. State police does not have absolute power, independent power on its own. It is centered on the IG and of course, the president of the country. Then you can see that even the Fulani political class manipulated that state police. Still the same thing as the normal police we have today. It's just a change of name. Not the way they are doing the issue of, you know, crude subsidy. Federal government is still paying subsidy, but they gave it another name.
Nigerians are asking, with this visit of IPOB delegate to the Knesset Parliament, what is the latest development that Biafrans will be expecting?
And that is what is bringing the problem now. That's emergency in the north. What are they talking about now? Oh no! That this thing, we need the ability to. How do we do to stop that? Bros, let me tell you, like I've always said, you know, the United Nations Charter guarantees self-determination. The United Nations rules and regulation, obligations, you know, guarantee the recognition of a sovereign nation. United Nations is made up of about 151 countries, 193, you know, member states. In EU, what about 27? Which these member states are independent states. And what the international law says is that, you know, any sovereign nation that recognizes a self-determination nation, freedom, sovereignty on a nation that is agitating for freedom, that have met the requirements based on international law. Let me give you an instance. In terms of geopolitical area, in terms of population, in terms of resources, in terms of, Biafra has proven to be that, over qualified in that regard. Then what do we need now? After having gotten, global attention, having gotten global attraction, then the next move is begin to push diplomatic, ties, solidarity between countries of powerful nations around the world, presenting your position based on what the international law says, based on conviction, evidence, and based on human rights. And that is all. And you need to identify those nations that are possibly going to be your allies to promote the recognition, because they are a sovereign nation. Somaliland was not a sovereign nation when Israel recognized it and it becomes a sovereign nation. That's what the international law says. For those of them who does not know, it took Israel 4,000 years to become a nation in 1948 or 45 or thereabout. You know how many years it took America? So it is a continuous struggle. You never can say, you never can tell. But what I'm saying is that, Biafra has become popular.
Oh yes, you have seen it. Thing that is going on in the country and the heat that is hitting everywhere. Oh, anybody that tells you that Asrock is sleeping, they are not sleeping. They never sleep. The issue of terrorism self is not their problem. This issue of you are saying terrorists buying people everywhere, doing a lot of things, and they are leaving them and they are going scot-free is not their problem. Their main problem is Biafra. That is their main problem, because they are not at sleep. Every day and night they are thinking that what happened in Somaliland should not happen in Nigeria, because one morning, Monday, one of those top country world powers like the America or like the Israel or like the France, all those big countries, that once they speak, the next thing that will follow it up, once they now finally speak and recognize Biafra or the UN, that means that will be the end of this issue of one Nigeria. They have been fighting and they're struggling for to make people to remain as one. And when the people, they are not even trying their best a little to remain as one, but they are doing every means. The only people who will be claiming that Nigeria is one is only the politicians, those that is embezzling money, those that is stealing money, those that's living with corruption, those that whenever they come with lies and different things, those that don't want to even to leave office for the young generation to take. That is, they are the main people that will be claiming to you that one Nigeria or nothing, that Nigerian unity is sacrosanct. But the young generation that is coming up now, as you can see, the northern boy, the northern man, the young northern man, the way he spoke with intelligence, with idea, and with something that if you let these type of people to be in office, then they will start synchronizing their youth, telling them what to do, telling them this people is your friend and this people is not your friend. Although they are talking about that the Igbo should remain in Nigeria, that they should not leave Nigeria, because once they leave, that's nemesis will fall on them. That is what he was advocating for. But nevertheless, he is seeing the future, where the country and where the north is going. He's seeing everything, but they are using issue of divide and rule tactics in the southeast and the south to divide them, claiming that this is this is Igbo, this is Niger Delta, when they know all of them is one. All of them is one. In fact, a lot is happening. A lot is happening. The issue of Biafra will keep hitting hard every day by day, and the government of Nigeria, they will keep having headache every day by day because of they don't want to do what they're supposed to do. According to Ojuku, he said after everything that Aburi I stand and Aburi we move. And thank God to Mazam Kanu today that came out and start fighting for the issue of sovereign state. He still stand on Aburi, that what they say there is what he wants them to review back, so that they should tell them and tell the world what really caused the war. But Gowon is running out of skater. He's just running from one pillar to another, claiming that he fought the war because of to make Nigeria to remain as one. Today, the governor is now begging for the Igbo to forgive them for the war they took them to fight against the Igbos, because what is really happening in the north, it is more than, in fact, this one now is beyond the civil war. That is what is going on. Well, I would like your comment down below, like, subscribe, and share for everyone to see things going on in Nigeria. Say thank you for watching.